帰りの道は長い。体力を温存しておくんだな。何か言いたいのなら審判の時に言うがいい。
Hello everybody, it's your beautiful Baka streamer Lance, back at again with a new Genshin Impact video. Today we're going to be breaking down CYNO, the new Electro Pole Arm Daddy, as well as bringing up some Abyss lineup recommendations for all the mega whales as well as the free-to-plays of the Genshin Impact community. Now without further ado, let's get into a quick analysis of who CYNO is, what his strengths and weaknesses are, and how you can fully utilize this character to make sure that you have the best gameplay experience. Now if it's not too much trouble, please drop a like, share and subscribe. It helps your boy out with the algorithm and it makes you feel very appreciated for the content that I do. Let's get on with the video. So, as some of you guys have seen with the leaks going around, CYNO is an Electro Pole Arm character. He uses the new Electro Registrying drop as an essential material. We'll go through all his essential material in the next section, but for now let's have a quick look at his kit. So his first kit is his basic attack. So he has 4 consecutive spear strikes, and he consumes stamina to lunge forward similar to a Huta or every other pole arm character that we know so far. His E, Secret Rite Cosmic Soulfarer. CYNO lunges into a direction, dealing electro damage along the way. But this passive also has a second version where in your ultimate form, the Pathstorm Path Clearer, you drop an insane thunderous bolt on the ground dealing AoE damage and extends the duration of the burst itself, stacking up to 2 times. So some of you might be wondering what that eye indicator on the screen is. That actually is an indicator that CYNO's passive is in effect. It's called the Featherfall Judgment. This means that you can now activate the next combo attack and it will deal AoE electro damage in the form of a Dustbringer Bolt. Very good for laying down the law in the middle of a battle. Last but not least, we have his Elemental Burst. He calls upon the power of the Jackal God in order to transform himself into a mood known as the Pathstorm Path Clearer. In this form, his normal attacks are converted into electro and he deals an insane amount of damage over a 10-second period of time, being able to be extended twice by using E in his combo up to 18 seconds, so you have a total of 2-second downtime. So now we have a nice little infographic here which I made for your convenience. I'll post it in my Discord server, link is down in the description as well. So we have talent priority. So as I mentioned, the basic attack do have a separate scaling, so you don't really need to max it. So it goes burst, skill, basic attack, and I highly recommend you crown the burst. The burst does have a separate scaling as mentioned. E skill damage, I'll probably put at level 9 if you don't want to invest a crown. I personally would be triple crowning, and normal attack you can go level 1 if you want to. So artifacts, so there's a huge debate on Reddit whether it's EM or Texan, and I would say personally it depends on your weapon. So if you're going Staff of Scarlet Sands, which is his best in slot, you definitely go EM. It would really bolster up the kit. Whereas if you're going something like a Primordial Jadewing Spear or a Staff of Homa White Tassel, Attack Sense would be much better. For Goblet, there is no contest, Electro bonus is the way. And for Circlet, since his weapon skills with crit rate, naturally you go crit damage. If you're using White Tassel, crit rate, so crit damage. If not, you might want to bolster up his crit rate if you have good crit damage artifacts all around. And for Flower and Feather, of course you want to go crit rate, crit damage. So the best in slot for artifacts. So it starts with Thundering Fury, so far seems to be the top. Next would be Gilded Dreams, which is the new artifact set, very strong for him, but highly dependent on your team comp. Because whether you get the attack or the EM buff depends on which type of characters there is in your team and what you have available. Last but not least is a temporary artifact which I don't highly recommend, but it is usable to an extent. So it's 2 pieces of Electro, which is Thundering Fury, and 2 pieces of Elemental Mastery, which can be any of the sets, whether it's Wanderers or the new Gilded Dream set, but that will work as a temporary while you farm for Thundering Fury 4 piece. So growth materials, you have the most tilting shit in the world. Wait, is this the sound of a scarab? Anyway, hopefully it's not as hard to get as Oni Kabuto, but we have Sumeru Oni Kabuto, known as the Scarab. We have the Electro Regisvine Thunderclap Fruit Core. We need 46 of those, and we need Mudra Hand from the Rider Shogun. Because we don't have a new world boss, we're going to be using the old world boss materials. So farming materials, we need Samacho materials, we need the Talent of Admonition, and we need the Electro Rocks from the Regisvine or the Hypostasis. And down below is a best in slot team comp for CYNO. It's a very good team comp if you have the necessary characters. You can of course swap out Kokomi for a different healer like Barbara. It should work, especially with the Bloom bug right now. Pretty good. Now looking on his Constellations. So for all the whales in chat, I would say C2 is where he is the most comfortable. So not only do you get extra attack speed from C1, you also get the 50% electro damage bonus from C2, which is very good. Now going up to C4 and C6, I would say C4 is more of a utility with the energy recharge passive, and for the C6 of course more damage is very nice. So I would say, is he worth to go C6? Definitely, but I think there will be future characters which are more worth it. So if you're on a strict budget, C1 is the bare minimum I would say if you're willing to invest. If not, C0 is totally usable for me. So for weapons, we of course have some recommendations from the exclusive to the 5-star alternative to the free-to-play alternative. So we have the Staff of Scarlet Sands. Gain 52% of EM as bonus flat attack, and you have the Dream of Scarlet Sands passive, where every time you hit a character with an elemental skill, you gain a percentage of EM as bonus attack. This scales up to 3 times. So it's very obvious why this weapon is the best in slot for reaction CYNO specifically. And since it scales with crit rate, it alleviates some of the stress of CYNO, because CYNO needs attack, EM, crit rate, and crit damage. So this takes away 2 out of the 4 necessary stats. And at the moment, there are not many as effective alternatives. There are 4-star craftable weapons coming out in the second part of Sumeru in 3.1. So we need to see whether those are a suitable option for Staff of the Scarlet Sands. So next we have our tried and true best alternative weapon for CYNO, but this is for a different style of CYNO, the Primordial Jade Wing Spear. So at a maximum of 674 base attack and 22.1% crit rate, this weapon is a beast for the man in purple, the Jackal God himself. Let's get on with the quick analysis of what this weapon does. Increase the attack of the wielder by 3.2% for 6 seconds, and it stacks up to 7 times. At max stand, you also gain a bonus damage of 12%. So this is the best in stock for attack CYNO. So this is a straight up Unga Bunga CYNO. So this is where you will be using an attack stand over an EM stand. It synergizes very well with CYNO's combo because you're going to be hitting non-stop. So the attack increase does make a lot of sense. And there are alternatives to this weapon. So you can also use Deathmatch at R3 or R5. That works very well as well. And last but not least, we have the free-to-play option. So this is a section which I included because a lot of my free-to-play viewers have asked for it. So we have the White Tassel. So similar to the predecessors, it has crit rate, so it alleviates some of the stress of needing so much stats to balance out in your artifacts. So the kicker is that it has very low base attack, so you definitely need better quality artifacts to compensate. So the passive normal attack damage plus 24% scales up to 48% in R5, and yes, this does affect CYNO in his ultimate form. Is it worth? So it alleviates the stress of stats as I mentioned before with crit rate, and a normal attack increase does boost the kit very well. There are also different alternatives for free to play. You have the Kitayan crosshair, something I forgot the name. The Kitayan weapon from Inazuma's craftable side. You also have the new weapons from 3.1 Sumeru. So we have to take a little bit of observation on that. I'll be doing a guide on those weapons as well. And last but not least, we have the Abyss lineups, which is the moment which everybody has been waiting for. Over here we have 4 teams which I picked out specifically that interest me, not only because they include certain characters which a lot of players can get, but also because I feel that these teams bring out a better version of CYNO, allowing you to deal the maximum damage potential output with your desired character. So we have the Hyper Bloom, Collector's Taser, Aggravate, and the Shred team. So let me briefly go through all 4 teams, their strengths and their weaknesses. So first we have the Hyper Bloom team. So this is a multiple reaction style team. We have a battery for CYNO on Official, Dendro Traveler specifically, Sangonomiya Kokomi, and CYNO himself. The weapon recommendations for each of these teams will be slightly different. For the Hyper Bloom team, I recommend 2 Favonius because you want to battery charge CYNO as much as possible. You can also run Sapwood on Dendro Traveler if so you wish. So you're going to have Favonius Warbow, Sapwood, TTDS, and whatever weapon you choose on CYNO based on the weapons list just now. So for rotational advice, you go Official E, Traveler Burst, Kokomi E, and then on CYNO, or you want to go Official E, Official R, Traveler Burst E, Kokomi E, then CYNO also is good. Next for the Aggravate team. So this team capitalizes on the Aggravate reaction, increasing the electro damage dealt to enemies affected by this condition. So you have Dendro Traveler, similar with the above team. You can use Sapwood or Favonius. You have Official with Warbow, Beidou with Favonius, Great Sword, and CYNO. So with this team, you're capitalizing on electro dropping as well as Dendro Traveler with her flower in the center. So you're going to go Traveler Burst E, Official E, Beidou Burst, Basic Attack, and then E, and then CYNO on field. So this will apply the maximum amount of electro to as many opponents as possible, and applying Dendro on the field as well. Next we have the Collector's Taser. So this is a full 5-star team, hence the name Collector's Taser, because it takes a collector a certain level of luck or money to be able to get this many characters. So you have Raiden Shogun, Kokomi, Yelan, and CYNO. So recommended weapons: if no engulfing lightning, the catch is good for Raiden. Kokomi get TTDS, Yelan with Favonius or Aqua Simulacra, and CYNO with his desired weapon. So the combo is Raiden E into Kokomi E into Yelan Burst and E, then into CYNO. Then once CYNO has downtime on his burst, back to Raiden for a burst. So this team is very good. You can probably shift Kokomi and Yelan's slot so you can give TTTS to CYNO. I don't really use Kokomi nor TTTS user, so that's where the mismatch came from. But that's my general advice for you. Last but not least, we have the Shred team with our resident Geodaddy Zhongli at the helm, Dendro Traveler, the new 4-star Dory, and CYNO. So Dory is actually a decent energy particle generator, and she provides healing, so that's pretty good. Not necessarily if you have a good Zhongli, you don't really need healing, but it's also nice to have a good electro particle generator for CYNO. So same as before, Traveler with Sapwood or Favonius, Zhongli with Black Tassel, or if you want to run a DPS Zhongli, it works as well. Dory with Favonius, Great Sword, and CYNO with his desired weapon. So Zhongli's E is not there for the shield, although it is very good. It's there for the physical and elemental shred. Traveler Burst and E, Dory Burst and E, then CYNO on field. So this will take a little bit longer because the charge time for Dory as well as Zhongli's skills do take a lot of time. So do make sure that your rotational management is very good. All 4 of these Abyss lineups will be able to bring you really good results with CYNO, and I do hope that you guys will be able to fully utilize these characters as best as you can. I'll be testing out these lineups on my account as well on stream at twitch.tv/LensCrowd. Thank you so much everybody for joining up with me in this guide. I really hope it has found you well. And do let me know if you've tested out these themes. How do you feel? What do you think can be improved? Because I would love to provide the best level of advice to everyone. Now, if you haven't already, please do like, share, and subscribe. And of course, I'll see you in the next video. Now, before I end, thank you so much to everybody whose assets I borrowed from, specifically some calculation template assets from Akane from the Wangzhou Funeral Parlor Discord. Thanks to everybody on the CyNO Reddit mains, CynoMains Reddit, sorry. And thanks so much to all my viewers for sticking around. I really appreciate every single one of you. I'll put the credits in the description. If I forget, do let me know so I can edit in. And I'll see you again in the next video. Till we meet again, peace.